o'clock in Pirate Country, and it's time to get pumped up with the P-Man. Hit the door and hit the road. 94.3 The Game is going to get you home, and the P-Man's not holding back.
Yes! Yes! Pirates win! Pirates win!
Bring on the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Holy mackerel! Oh, my goodness!
The flagship station of the ECU Pirates.
All right, hello again, everybody, and welcome. It's another 90-minute edition of the Patrick Johnson Show before Pirate basketball. We're in the Williams Hall of Fame here outside of Minges Coliseum. Action-packed edition coming up here, and, of course, Pirate basketball tonight against North Texas. It'll be a 7:02 tip for ECU and North Texas. We'll have the game for you right here on 94.3 The Game and 107.9 WNCT. Cy Seymour will join us during the course of this program. We are scheduled to have Dave Barnett come by. He, of course, of ESPN and Major League Baseball fame, and has been for the last several years the voice of North Texas, his alma mater. So hoping to have Dave be able to come by here. Justin Bear is with us here, ECU Marketing Director, Fan Engagement. Great to see you. Welcome.
Thanks for having me.
We got Dom Kasolki here. Dom has already figured out how the Vikings should spend their money this offseason, so that's good. Tough loss for Dom's Vikings yesterday. Pilkington back in the studio. Pilk, anything that we need to let the people know about before we get into this basketball game?
I haven't seen any breaking news today. I think everything that needs to be known, Justin is the guy who knows it. So I'm defaulting to him today. Yeah.
You're giving me you're setting the bar very high for me.
By the way, I can tell you this, it is cold. That's the breaking news of the day. It is chilly outside. It's a bit brisk outdoors. Justin, great to see you. And this is the painted black tonight. So if you're coming to the game, wear black.
Yes, sir.
And students are back.
Students are back.
That's a big thing, I think, tonight.
It's always exciting when the students come back. We do a lot over the break to try to, fill that lower bowl and make it look good when you do your live shots behind you. But at the end of the day, it's just not the same as, having the students there. So it'll be good to have them back.
And I thought the crowds responded to that, the $8 ticketing. I mean, I thought the lower bowl looked pretty popular.
Yeah, it's we always do really well with that. And I think it's, it's a combination of a lot of things. I think obviously this always help. But some of it is just, people don't get to sit down low like that. Some of it is the holiday season. People have time off. They're doing whatever and they're ready to get out of their house. So we always do really well with those holiday games, with those holiday hoops tickets. So it was good to see again.
With marketing, there's always, unique thing. The baby race returned at the beginning of the year, which is always popular. And there's some other great things you guys do during the basketball games this year. I really like the thing where you blindfold the participant.
Yep.
And they have to find the Pepsi or Petey with the Pepsi. And then we had a Sup Dogs mid-court shot winner earlier in the year.
Finally. It's funny is it's been, I think, 2 years now we've been doing that. And everybody's like, how are we gonna make a half-court shot? How are we gonna make a half-court shot? I'm like, at the end of the day, that's like we could put our whole basketball team out there and there are only gonna be a handful of them that will make on the first try. And so it's like, it's just gonna be, at some point somebody's gonna make it. And it's good that it finally, somebody got the monkey off the back and we've broke the seal and somebody's done it.
So with that, they got $1,000 worth of money to be spent at Sup Dogs, or is it just straight cash? Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So shout out to Brett and Sup Dogs for doing that. That's something he kind of came to us and said, hey, I want to do this. So, he's a great partner of ours, and so we're really excited to be able to do that.
Brett's awesome. I saw Brett at the last home game at halftime, and he's just a good dude.
Good
really
dude.
Is.
Yep.
Great guy, and loves the Pirates. And like is always like, I one of the football games was the Navy game. I was in the club level, and I got for my guest a Sup Crush.
Yeah.
And he said to me, "Oh, thank you for getting it." I was like, "You don't have to thank me for getting it."
Yeah, no,
I mean, that's the kind of guy he is.
Yeah, no. So I had my wedding in June in the tower, and our reception was up there, and we had Sup Crushes, and Brett himself showed up and was helping serve and whatever.
Oh, really?
And I was like, Brett, you didn't. I was like, I just needed.
How is married life?
It's pretty much the same for me as it was pre-married life, but it's good. Good.
How many Sup Crushes did Pilkington have?
Pilkington wasn't there. Pilkington unfortunately missed it on the guest list. We kept it kind of
Whose
tight.
wedding were you at, Pilkington? I thought you were at somebody's wedding.
When? How recently?
Or their bachelor party. You go to more bachelor parties than
I
any
do.
human on the planet.
As
Pilkington
far
was
as
at Parker's.
Parker's wedding.
Yeah.
That was last.
Was that his?
not this
That
past
wasn't his
summer.
wedding.
Yeah, 2 summers ago. Yeah, I
Few
was at
years
his
ago,
wedding.
yeah.
But yeah.
Which wedding was it for him? His first, his second, his third? Which one was it?
Oh, come on! Don't bag on Parker. Like the only wedding that I think Justin and I have both been to has been Parker's. The other ones I've been going to recently have been family members or other friends.
I kind of wish I'd have gone to Justin's after hearing about the fact that there were sup crushes and you were not there. I would have loved to have been.
It's the perfect situation.
Yeah.
Although usually sup crushes help with dealing with Phil. Yeah.
I like how he calls you Phil. You know who else calls you Phil?
Who?
The coach. The coach always calls you Phil. He asks me how Phil's doing. And I have to think, who's he talking about? And it's because I always call you Philip.
Yeah.
But the coach calls you Phil. How's my guy Phil? Coach is a big fan of yours,
Coach and the marketing team call me Phil.
I love it. I'm going to start calling you that. All right, Phil Pilkington. Phil Pilk back in the studios. Justin Bear, ECU Director of Marketing and Fan Engagement, which is the catchy term now. But, I mean, that's really as much of what it's about now. Anything is there's so many entertainment options in the world now. Having the fans feel like they're kind of part of the show or entertained is so big.
Yeah, and really, honestly, the biggest challenge that we have with that fan engagement stuff is I don't want people watching you tonight. And it's become so easy for people to watch the game from home. So try to give them the best experience as they are here. I always say it's 10, 15 years ago, if you wanted to watch ECU basketball and really ECU football, you had to come to the stadium because the opportunity to watch it wasn't so easily accessible. Nowadays, you can just pop on your TV. Everybody has ESPN Plus now and watch it. And it's great. Like it's really great for our fans that are outside of this region.
Sure.
But it does add a challenge for us of, you like you said, it's cold out tonight. It's like, I don't want to get out of the house and go out in the cold. It's like, so, we're always trying to make sure that the experience is, and at the end of the day, we can't control what happens inside the line. So we try to do the best as we can when play's not happening to keep people engaged and keep the environment fun.
And the thing I've liked this year about basketball is there are always easy for me to say things that you do at the break. So I mean, the action just doesn't stop.
Yeah.
When you put that together, how is that determined? Obviously, there's sponsor connected items and that sort of thing.
Yeah, so we work with Playfly, our sponsorship group, and they sell a lot of that. They go out and they work with local businesses and say, hey, here's things that you can do. And obviously, some buy just, PA reads, some want to do contests, like Sup Dogs does and whatnot. So, they go work on that. And so then they kind of bring us, say, hey, here's the list of everything we sold this year. And, we go out and we put together the script and we execute it. There are some things that, we go out that we do on our own. So a lot of like the halftime entertainment you see when there's dance groups or whatever, we handle all that. The baby race is something that we kind of handle internally. Playfly helped us out and they got some prizes for that from one of the local businesses. But yeah, it's a kind of a joint effort of they sell it and we execute it more or less.
The dance troops are always it seems like there's a different one or different ones each game. I guess that's sort of twofold. There's a tie into the dance team. I think the dance team have some connection to most of the dance troops, and it does sell some tickets.
Yeah, and that's that's where we come in. It's really cool for those kids to come out and they get to dance. In Minji's and in front of a big crowd. That's probably the biggest crowd those kids will ever dance in front of. So, it's a twofold. It's like we like working with the local groups, but it does help. They sell mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and everybody else comes out. So it's kind of a twofold for both of us.
Yeah, a lot of people from my hometown, their daughter was dancing last home game last week. So they. The aunt, the uncle, the grandparents on both sides were there. I mean, it was a big crowd.
So a fun one we actually have coming. I think it's February. It's one of the February games. Our dance coach came to me before the season and said, she wanted to do a golden pirate dancer. So she has set up a clinic for the ladies 50 plus, and they will be performing at halftime for one of the games in February.
All right.
And I think the football team is going to make a return to Dance with the Dance team at halftime coming up. So
it's a good one.
Yeah, we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up and trying to engage with different groups and different things. So
with the length of the season, I have to imagine that you don't exercise all the ideas, and then you might have an idea slotted for a certain game, and you maybe move it if something else comes up. How nimble can you be in some of this? During the course of the year for sports like this or baseball or that kind of thing?
It's a balance of, like we like to be nimble, and some things come up, like obviously we recognize Raj at 2 home games ago, or last home game, whatever it was. Obviously that's something that came up kind of last minute because, obviously winning a bowl, I wanted to be optimistic for the season, but I didn't know that we were going to be NC State in a bowl game prior to, December 28th. So, that obviously comes up, but so there is some nimbleness, but obviously, we schedule stuff out, before the season even starts and lock stuff in. So we leave a little bit of room if we need to move some things around, but we can be nimble and we can do some different things if we need to.
Is there an idea that maybe you've picked up from any of your colleagues at any point that you would like to, you haven't had it for whatever reason, it just hasn't come together here yet, that you would like to maybe execute in the future or maybe later this year?
So one thing that I have seen at some schools that, we just haven't figured out this timing of it and the logistics of it, everything is usually right before the holidays, they do a teddy bear toss. Mm-hmm. And so you encourage all of your fans to bring teddy bears to the game, and then at halftime they get to go and throw them all out on the court. And I've seen there's a minor league hockey team that covers the entire ice, it's thick. So but I've been at schools 50 to 100, and then obviously you donate those teddy bears to a local group.
So that would be
so it's one of those kind of a fun different thing. And
that's
I've
a cool idea.
I've seen some schools they'll put a target in the middle, and whoever gets it the closest might win something. And so you can kind of have some fun with it.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, so it's something that it just hasn't figured out the logistics on it, but it's something I think I would like to do and see us do in basketball next year, maybe.
And then, as you say, give the teddy bears, donate them for kids. That
the less fortunate.
Yeah, that's really a great idea.
Yeah.
Justin Baer is the director of sports marketing at ECU Athletics, also fan engagement as well. I think the next women's home game is going to be on the 22nd.
Yep.
We'll have that on 94.3 The Game on radio, and of course they will be playing. Who is it that night? Is it Temple that night? I think it is. Maybe. I'm gonna roll with that.
If you hadn't asked me, I could have told you. But now that you asked me, I don't.
Right.
I don't remember.
Pilkington, confirm who they're playing that night. But there's a giveaway that night.
Yeah, we're doing a T-shirt giveaway for that, and it's actually so we've started doing this year. It's called Pirate Club Priority Days, and we're doing them for some of the smaller, the non-football men's basketball sports. If you come as a Pirate Club member and you stay through halftime of that game, you will get bonus priority points. Which is important because this year is a reseeding year for football. So we reseat the whole stadium and priority points matter. So, if you're a Pirate Club member, come out, support them that day, stay through halftime, and you'll get some bonus priority points.
When does that when does that process start, the reseating?
I don't know the exact date. We had a meeting about it. I think it's in April or May.
Yeah.
Our ticket office and our Pirate Club staff do a great job of handling all that. So.
It's funny. We had the Double R Express Ryan on here and the big guy last night. I should have put the heat on them and not you. Is what I should have done.
You should always put. That's my job. The proverbial things roll downhill. My job is to catch all the stuff that rolls downhill.
Well, you do a great job of it. Let me ask you, with the spring coming up, baseball's a very popular sport with Pirate fans right now. Does that allow you to execute some other ideas, or how does that kind of work in baseball?
So it's actually, it's a double-edged sword. For example, Bark in the Park is something a lot of baseball teams do. Bark in the Park is hard for us to do now because the jungle is so full on game day that it's hard to put extra dogs out there. So that's something that we've talked about and trying to figure out how do you do something like that.
Or you just do it in the stands, I guess, maybe.
So, and then even in the stands, you're so packed, it's hard, you don't have room. And so it's a good problem to have that we have so many people coming to games that we have to adjust some stuff. But, baseball has gotten to the point where, I think we do a great job in terms of keeping people engaged and whatever, but our fans are so good that they make it easy out of baseball on us. So, we're sold out of season tickets again, but single game tickets will go on sale here in the near future. But another good schedule for Cliff. I'm sure he'll have another great year out there. So baseball's fun.
When you look at the football season coming up,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a lot of momentum after beating NC
Yep.
State, as you mentioned, when do you guys start your planning?
We've actually already started our planning. We've met last week. I think something will go out here in the next week or two about 25 season tickets. So be on the lookout for that. But we've already started that process. We've had some internal discussions on kind of what we can do to help push season tickets. Obviously, like you said, beating NC State at bowl game.
That helps.
Yes, it helps. I always say, if we go 12-0 in football, I have the easiest job in the country. So, winning always helps. But yeah, we've already started the planning process, kind of how we're going to push season tickets. I think we have a good home schedule this year. Having BYU come in, and obviously we'll see what the conference schedule looks like. But it should be a fun year in Dottie Picklet again in 25.
Are there any specific events coming up through the rest of the basketball season connected to marketing or special promotion nights?
The big one, we have Pirate Club Day coming up at the end of January. So that's a big one. I think we're going to try to recognize the bowl team at that game. I mentioned some other stuff. Big one, Senior Day is actually March 2nd. We take on Charlotte.
Yep.
Obviously, I encourage our fans to, come out and support, especially our seniors. RJ's a big one. Obviously, he's done a lot.
Is that a Sunday or is that a Saturday?
I believe it's a Sunday.
Yeah, on
Sunday
March
at
2nd,
noon.
it's a Sunday, yeah.
So Senior Day, obviously a big one. Definitely come out and support, especially, our seniors have done a lot for this program and been great Pirates, as people like to say. So definitely come out and support them.
Really quick, how did you matriculate to ECU and how did you kind of get involved in this work?
So I did my undergrad at Ohio University. I actually always tell people the first time I watched ECU play was in the 2013 bowl game in Tampa.
Yeah.
I was on the other sideline, unfortunately for that game, fortunately for Pirate fans. So I was an intern there as a student for 2 years. I went for a year to the University of Evansville as a full-time intern there. Then I went to LSU for 2 years, got my master's there, and then here in 2017 and been here since.
And so you'd heard of East Carolina.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that was easy. You were sort of familiar.
Yeah, I was aware of East Carolina. I obviously knew the football history that they had. So it's been great to be here, and I think being at LSU, and obviously they have a great baseball history, but I would put the Jungle up there with everything that they have there. Obviously they can put 12,000 to their stadium, but I think what we put in there rivals everything that they have in the SEC. So it's been cool to kind of see how much fan support this place does have.
One thing I kept mentioning, but I would just ramble on and on here is there's a host this year. Like an in arena.
Oh yeah,
host.
The MC, yes.
Yeah, the MC. So.
Yeah, that's another thing we've been trying. It's a hard position to fill because you have to find the right person, because they have to have that energy and they have to have that ability to speak on a microphone and whatever. And as you can attest to, it's really easy to talk, me and you and whatever, and be excited during games. But when you put that mic in front of you and people start hearing your voice come through and they're looking at you, it becomes a whole different world.
Well, and when you start hearing your voice, that's the other thing I think people, whenever you're in an event where you are, on microphone addressing, it's if you have not ever experienced that before, it's a little jarring to hear back.
Yeah, so we've it's Jonathan Coleman's actually the guy who does it. He's a former football player here, and we actually saw him. He did freshman convocation, so the day before school starts, we have a big event in Minges for the freshmen, and he was emceeing that, and me and Greg saw him, and we're like, he's really good. And we've been looking for an MC, and he kind of fit the mold we were looking for. We're looking for somebody young, somebody energetic, somebody who understands athletics. So I think he's been doing a great job.
Would he do something like that during football? Has that been discussed, or? It
hasn't. Brian Bailey used to do it, and we've kind of moved away from it just because there hasn't been the need for it. But if Jonathan, we can have that discussion.
Yeah, I was at a game, and it was a TikTok person that I think maybe Duke hired. I went to the Duke SMU game with my dad, and they, it's a little different than basketball, but it was interesting that the way they use that.
And it's definitely, and it's something that we're learning, and we're trying to figure out how to best utilize him as well. Because it is the first time
because you want him to be, because he's become a popular part of everything.
Yeah, so. and he, like I said, he's done a great job, but he doesn't have any background in it. He's not this guy who, and it's a hard thing that we deal with, and people are always like, why haven't we found one before? It's like, well, these big cities, it's easy. You have all these radio personalities that just live in those cities and whatever. We unfortunately don't have that that glut of people. So it's been hard to find the person. The fact that he's done and he's been doing well as
he's done a really nice job.
Yeah.
He really has. Great to see you. Thank you for coming by. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Justin Bear with us here, ECU Sports Marketing and Fan Engagement. We're going to hit a break. We'll come back. Dom will join us, maybe Cy Seymour shortly, and Dave Barnett will hopefully be stopping by during the course of our time here today. It is the Patrick Johnson Show. We got ECU and North Texas coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, and we're carrying you up to pregame coverage starting at 6:30 here on 94.3 The Game.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked to order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human. About creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Have you noticed he's in his own little happy hour? We're back to the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
This is the Happy Hour program.
Here's the P-Man.
We've got East Carolina and North Texas tonight. It was a game last year that North Texas won on a length of the court. Last second or near last second lay-in where the guy pushed off and should have had a foul called against him for North Texas, and it was not called.
I think I remember that.
Yep. R.J. Felton out of a timeout hit a shot with 3.1 to put East Carolina up. Mean Green are 11-4, 2-1 in the American, and have won 5 of 6 coming in. They are just 1-3 on the road. The Pirates are 9-8, 1-3, coming off a really good showing at Memphis. East Carolina has dropped 7 of 9. They are 7-4 here at the friendly confines of Minges Coliseum. Last year, North Texas took the game in Denton in early March by 15, but it was a 60-59 count. About a year ago. Dom, if you were, look, I am sorry about your Vikings. Pilk, I picked his Vikings, didn't I?
You did.
I think I did, didn't I?
Yeah, you picked them.
Yeah. So I was doing it because of you, Dom.
Because of me. Well, actually, that's funny. My mom checks in from time to time, even if I'm not there, to see if I'm there.
Right.
And she told me that you picked.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So she's become a fan of the show. Is that what I'm hearing?
She's starting to.
Mother Kasolki is a fan of the show.
She's starting to like it even without me on it.
Well, there you go. The granddad is her father-in-law?
No, your father-in-law, yes.
Okay.
So it's on my dad's side.
Kasolki, who played in the NFL for the Vikings.
Yep, they cursed me with a Vikings fan.
Who was what was his name?
Carl Kasolki.
Carl Kasolki.
Yeah.
All right. What position did he play?
Strong safety.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Pro Bowler.
Oh, wow.
And they went to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs, and that's when he played.
Okay.
So he was, part of the losing culture of Minnesota.
Yeah.
The most winning team of all time to never have a championship in the 4 major sports.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Yep. Depressing.
Well, I don't know how depressing it is, but it is something. Look, I'll give Dom a lot of credit. He was born into it and he stuck with it.
And I'm gonna stick with it. I was born into Boston too, so I got blessed with that. My mom's from Boston.
Right.
So
okay.
at least it's not all
Mother
Minnesota
Kasolki's
teams.
from Boston. Okay. Well, wait a minute. How did your parents link up if she's from Boston?
Met in Wilmington, working in the film industry.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot about Dom here.
Well, all you got to do is ask.
Dom, well, I'm not that. No, Dom is. Yeah, 2 nights in a row. There you go. Dom is. I didn't realize Dom came from not only a football background, but now the arts is what I'm learning. Wow.
And he finally it's coming full circle, right? He's in sports.
He's funneled it together.
Entertainment.
He's funneled sports and the entertainment together. That's why Dom Kasolki is a young Howard Stern from Private Parts. That's why he looks like him. So it is great to have you with us here, and Cy Seymour will be by in a little bit. We are also waiting to hear from in a little bit Dave Barnett. We'll see if he comes by here. North Texas has not gotten here yet. We were told we were going to get their coach, for our pregame with television about 70, 75 minutes before tip-off. So I might have to be departing out of here, guys, to go do that. But I just wanted to get Dom on here. I was rooting for the Vikings last night. It just seemed like they couldn't get over the hump. But
I appreciate it. It is what it is.
I picked them. I did. So I'm glad Mother Kasolki is. Mother Kasolki still in the film industry?
She is, but Wilmington isn't in the film industry as heavily. So starting.
So she travels? Does she go to Georgia or something?
She did for a while, a few years back, but not as often anymore. Kind of sticking around at home and working on more commercials rather than television right now.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Interesting. Commercials for national commercials?
No, more like
local
Wilmington. Did like a Twisted Tea commercial. Did like a.
I may, since I'm down at Working Man's Beach and we get Wilmington television into there, I may have seen some of Mother Kasolki's work.
You may have, yeah.
I may have seen it.
It's impressive stuff.
Clearly, I'll be on the. I will be on the lookout. You have to tell me what she's produced lately, and I'll be on the lookout for
it
down for Wilmington television. What about is he still in the film industry, your dad?
No, works in Granite. Owns a granite company.
Oh, he owns a granite company. Okay, well, there you go. Look at that. Kasolki's got granite money, too.
I don't know about that.
Can you believe this? Listen to this guy. What a story Dom Kasolki
I always knew Kasolki was like a high roller. He just doesn't show it.
Well, Kasolki, he's got that artist's heart. That's why. That's what it is there.
Comm major.
Nobody, by the way, has the kind of cash flow running that Pilkington has.
No.
That guy vacations in exotic locales, and
it's like you said, a lot of weddings,
he goes to a wedding or a bachelor party every weekend when the weather gets warm.
And I'm happy for him. I'm happy.
I mean, that's good for him, but I mean, it's just
to be fair, I'm 26. I'm like prime where all my friends are getting married.
That's true.
If you lined him up, would you say he's 26? If you looked at him, you'd say Pilkington looks like he's 34.
I'd say 26 to 29.
Okay.
I'd say in that range.
29. All right.
I might.
I'd just say in that range.
Dom looks like he's 12.
12? I don't know about that.
William looks like he's 12. Dom looks like he's.
William does look like he's 12.
Dom looks like he's about 18 or 19.
Yeah, I could say,
I don't trust that. I was in high school getting told I looked like I was in college, so I don't know what you guys are talking
what
about.
were you doing, man?
I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I was getting smoothies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, how are you? How are you all doing? A lot of folks were right out here at the entranceway where the teams go. Here's Cy Seymour. All right, I tell you what,
Let
Pilk,
him get on.
let's let you get an update in real quick here.
All right.
And then we'll get the great Cy Seymour on with us to talk. Right now, Philip the Ref Pilkington with a 94.3 The Game sports update and Pirate Report.
Thank you, P-Man. Starting in Pirate Athletics, of course, it is a big basketball game tonight. Be heard right here on 94.3 The Game. It'll be at just after 7 o'clock tip and against North Texas. The airtime will be at 6:30. It is part of a busy night in college hoops, especially and our friends from the SEC, as number 1 Auburn will be hosting number 15 Mississippi State. Number 4 Alabama will be hosting number 21 Ole Miss. And number 8 Kentucky will be hosting number 11 Texas A&M. And that is just the 7 o'clock window. Elsewhere in sports, Deontay Johnson has been waived by the Houston Texans, making him now being released from 4 total teams this season. He obviously started the regular season with the Panthers. That'll do it for your 94.3 The Game Sports Flash Update and Pirate Report. We're going to take a time out here on the Patrick Johnson Show. On the other side, Cy Seymour and the P-Man will do a deeper preview on the Pirates and the Mean Green.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arrgh!
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in Color. And let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
We have you covered with all the ECU news and beyond that you need for the drive home. The Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Pelt, I had my East Carolina weight loss drops in my mouth.
Sorry.
Swishing them around before because I'm going to try to get a quick bite before the game.
Did
so
we
I was
lose
going ahead
Cy?
and taking my drops. We did lose Cy. Cy has where'd he go, Dom? His car.
Yeah.
Dom.
Wait, why did his
Cy
entourage go to his car for him?
I don't know. I didn't see his entourage tonight. I don't know if they're not here. Might be too cold for his entourage. Cy, last time we had a game, forgot his phone and had to go out and get it.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
This time Dom says he forgot his notes.
That surprised me a little more than the phone.
Well, the thing that happened a few years ago was last season, Cy has this notebook, and he set it on the back of the basket's, support.
Yeah.
And was wandering, and I guess somebody grabbed it and either tossed it or took it somewhere, and he spent over an hour going around Minji's Coliseum looking for that. Now he's got it. He's here. The great Cy Seymour. I had to tell you a story. I'll have to tell you in the break because it's not for air. It's not for on-air consumption.
Oh, I understand that too.
But I had to invoke your name today. Actually, I invoked somebody else's name. But you were on the tip of my tongue. I'll tell you later, though.
You got to tell me all about it.
I'll tell you all about it. So, all right, we got a. Are you on the air talking about Cy Live? Yes. Let me see who's. Yeah. Oh, that's it's my dad, the coach.
Oh, coach is hard to beat.
He just got back here, coach. So I had left off, and now has come back.
Yes,
How
sir.
are you?
I'm good, man.
Good
How
to see
about
you?
you?
The great Cy Seymour is here. He'll be on the call at ESPN Plus with me tonight. So it was about a year ago. This game here in Greenville came right down to the wire between these two.
Oh yeah, I got the no call push off for the layup that kind of cost us the ball game. But I tell you, Patrick, this is a well coached ball club, and they have depth at every position, and they're good at every position in the depth. In other words, the depth is quality, and they're there in every position. They took Memphis down to the wire just like ECU did. It's going to be a good one.
Here's what's interesting. They've got a great guard, Atten Wright, who's their leading scorer. He's one of the top free throw shooters in the country. Leads the American in free throws. He did not score against Memphis.
Yeah.
And they lost by, 4 points on the road?
If the crazy thing, neither the one nor the two guard scored.
Yeah.
Neither one scored, but their bigs played well. They've got 3 guys 6'9" that can really play. They've got 2 guys 6'6", and they played well. They scored all the points, and your top 2 scorer, or 2 of your top guys, did not score. And the guards, and that guy could be an all-league guard. I mean, he's really good.
Yeah. Speaking of Memphis, Pirates played really well against the Tigers, especially in the second half. What did you think they did a better job of in the second half? Because, I mean, that was still a game with seconds to go.
Oh, yeah, that game could have gone either way. And I think part of that game, what really worked good there, when you think about it, it was that, hey, Coach, here comes the good basketball team. I'm telling you, they're going to North Texas coming in. They've got a good ball club. But anyway, here's the deal. So I think ECU played well because, Walker can do anything. He steps out, knocks down 2 threes, and all of a sudden the big has to come out and guard him a little bit. So now you're spreading them out, and ECU settled in and distributed the ball well, and, all of a sudden you're in the basketball game. So it's a lot of things that went on to help East Carolina in that ball game, but I thought Walker's play and the 24 that he got were big, but it also changes the diametrics when he steps outside. It really changes everything.
And, I asked Mike Swartz about that on the radio yesterday on the coaches show. And that was something that they obviously drew up and something that they, I think, want to incorporate tonight. It creates driving lanes, and this team is good when they can get downhill.
That's what we are. That's what ECU is. And here's the other part of it. When Walker does that, he can create. You can't guard. A big man can't guard him from the outside all the way in. He can't guard him. The key will be staying out of foul trouble for him, and I think ECU's done a good job in the zone they've been running, and that's a big help to their ball club. So, ECU's got really good players that just don't have the depth. They've been sick, and you got to hope they get them back tonight a little bit.
From what we understand, everybody will be available tonight that has been out recently. Cyr Malonga will be back, who missed 2 games being sick. Jan Farrell. which I do think East Carolina missed his perimeter touch at Memphis.
Yes.
He will be back tonight. Also, Ben Salvungo will be back available tonight. He provides an athlete, so we will see. R.J. Felton, honorable mention in the AAC this past week in the weekly honors, kind of busted out of what had been ailing him. What has he done the last really game and a half? Because he struggled in the first half against Temple, but let's just say 2 games. What has he done that's sort of turned it around?
Well, one of the things that he does, first of all, he's going to give you everything he's got. Now, that's off the table. Nobody's going to play harder than RJ. He's also now going in and finishing shots. I think the biggest problem he might have right now, over-anxious shot selection. You don't have to hit the 3. You just let the game come to you, and you take the shots that you're comfortable with. And I thought he did a better job at Memphis doing that, and it helped him. But he is amazing that he can go over anybody inside. I don't care if they're 6'11". Yeah. He can go over.
You know, it's interesting. 11 rebounds per game over the last 3. Coach Swartz talked about that the rebounding fuels him. He thought RJ had gotten back to rebounding.
Yeah, I think that's part of his game is that he is that quick jumper that you talk about. He's the guy that at 6'2", 6'3", you think you've got the rebound at 6'8", and he goes up above you. His timing is unbelievable. And he gets the rebound, and then he can finish in there. I mean, that's his strength. That is his strength. And so I think it's good to see RJ playing that way.
We are going to speak on the telecast about Jay Woodard tonight, Jay Shane Woodard, the JUCO, who is, since he's kind of entered the starting lineup and started to play well. We talked to Jay yesterday, and he talked about he's more comfortable now. And you say it all the time because you coached JUCO for 20-some years. When you get a JUCO kid, it can take about a half a season.
It does. It usually takes mid-January. I mean, and that's if you're playing them. I mean, and it's been the same way with really good players. Derek Wiley was as good a player as you're going to get. He got better as the year went on. It's just the way basketball is. They've got to get used to that pace, got to get comfortable with their teammates, and once they do, they're all in, and Woodard, and listen, LeBeau's playing better.
Yeah, Trevi LeBeau is playing really well right now.
They're all getting used to it, and so that's part of what you do.
LeBeau is not going to lead you in scoring, but he's starting to do little things outside of rebounding, doing little things.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And that makes a big difference.
And he's like RJ, he can jump out of the gym.
He's displayed a lot more athleticism.
That's right.
Than I thought he would have here. Oh, look, there's the great TJ Long here.
Good to see you, TJ.
TJ
coming to the game tonight.
TJ, who would led the last NCAA tournament team in points per 40 minutes. Right, got to play 40 minutes, and TJ would have led them in scoring at 24 a game.
Well, he's doing a lot of good things to try and get this basketball alumni thing going on, and I appreciate that, TJ.
He really is.
And it's working out the way it should work out.
Yeah.
He's doing a good job with that.
We need to get TJ on the air sometime.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that.
It's great to talk to. Good guy, great family guy, business owner here in Greenville. Cy, with East Carolina tonight, obviously, what North Texas does, even offensively, they're a bully ball kind of team. Will kick it out for the 3, but they don't mind running it down. They don't get the offense going until it gets deep into the shot clock. So I understand you got to be disciplined on the offensive end tonight and not fall in love with maybe the 3-point shot if you're ECU. But the other part of that is I think you've also got to you got to be really, really committed and disciplined on the defensive end.
You really do. What you have to understand when you're playing this kind of basketball team, North Texas is a deliberate style. That's what they're going to do. They're going to make sure they do it right. And the other thing they do, they space. I looked at the film again today. They space well. It's funny. They get as close to the sidelines when they're spreading it. They really play it smart. They play within their game. That's what they do. They don't get out of it. They're 5th in the country in defensive score and holding teams to 58 points a ball game. So they're going to defend you, and they do the things well, and they do not get out of their style. I watched it close with Memphis. They did it one time, and it probably cost them the ball game. One of their guards went coast to coast, missed the shot. They kicked it to the other end, and Memphis hit a three to put Memphis up by 6. That one play might have cost them the ball game, but rest of the time, calm, collective, did things right.
As for the Pirates, they come into this one tonight 9-8 overall, 1-3 in the American. Their games in the league, including at Memphis, have all been nail biters. And in games decided by 3 possessions, or I guess there's 7 of the 8 losses have come by 8 or fewer points.
Yeah,
so a 3-possession, which is nothing in basketball. I mean,
that's a part of the process of getting your team to blend.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can keep them together through this stretch and win this one, look, you've played the top. Listen, this team they're playing, they could easily be one of the top teams. I mean, Memphis is good. This team's good. Keep them together. If you win this one tonight, that's a big win.
Well, this is big for them because they don't have any more quad 1 opportunities. Right. They're 0-3 against quad 1. They're right now in the top 60 in RPI.
Right.
They probably will not have enough to get them, unless they just run the table, to get them in as an at-large.
Right.
So they have to be in a position where they're winning all their games, but then they have to be peaking. I'm talking about North Texas, if they have postseason aspirations for the NCAA tournament.
Right.
They've been to the NIT the last 3 years, won a game in the NIT last year, won it all a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you this. East Carolina is in a really unique situation, too, where their first opponent, South Florida, obviously had some extra time because it was the first conference game. Temple had a bye week, if you will, bye game before, so they played one game coming in, had extra time to prepare for ECU. That's what I'm getting at here. Memphis had the same thing. Didn't have a game where, ECU's had 2 games a week. The opponents, in other words, have had 1 game, and that was ECU. Yeah. Same thing with North Texas. They haven't played since last week, this time last week.
That's right. They played Rice.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
No, and ECU is sitting there, and I'm telling you, it's hard, a guy like me, to get everything ready for today, and you have 1 day, but you're watching the NFL, you're looking around, and I'm thinking, what about the coaching staff at East Carolina? They get back on late Saturday night, they get in, and then you have no time to practice or get ready for this game,
especially for what they do.
Yeah,
with their style, which is a little unorthodox.
Well, and ECU is going to work hard to always prepare for every game. It's very, very difficult when you can't get ready. And I admire Mike for getting his team ready to go, Coach Schwartz. He'll have them ready to play, but it's when you only have 1 day turnaround, really actual practice day, 1 day, it's hard.
All right, I'm going to get some keys to for you here because we got to go and talk to the coach. So give me a few keys to the game.
I think if you're East Carolina, you got to be patient on the defensive end and really guard. You cannot turn it over. This team will turn you over. They steal it better than any team. They shoot free throws well. So you've got to protect the basketball. They're going to play balanced. You got to play calm and get the good shots. And defensively, keep them in front of you, guard them tough, and defend everything, which ECU will do. This could be a good basketball game, and you got an opportunity to beat a really good team tonight if you're East Carolina.
All right, Pilk, could you and Dom take over from here and run it out till 6:30? Are you guys good?
Yeah, we got it.
All right. We'll take a break, come back. Pilkington and Dom Kasolki will be here getting you through the rest of the show till 6:30 tonight. Cy and I will have the call on ESPN Plus, and coming up, Darren Vaught at the bottom of the next hour with the pregame show, and then the call of the game at 7 o'clock here on the ECU Sports Network and 94.3 The Game. All right, we're taking a break. Patrick Johnson Show. Back tomorrow morning on Talk of the Town for me, and then, of course, we'll be back here tomorrow at 5 for the PJ Show. Dom and Pilk when we come back.
The team of Flatlands Jessup is working overtime to help ensure that Eastern North Carolinians like you get the health insurance help you need this open enrollment period. New legislation passed meaning more people than ever qualify for affordable coverage. Let us help you today.
This holiday season, get the gift you really want at Greenville Toyota. It's our holiday trade-up. Drive a new Corolla, just $229 a month, or a new Tacoma, only $329 a month during the holiday trade-up at Greenville Toyota.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Everybody loves tiebreakers.
Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Big tax credits are back. Get a 30% tax credit, up to $2,000 off your new Mitsubishi electric heat pump install. Let Comfort Master help you take advantage of the tax credits with a qualifying Mitsubishi electric ducted heat pump or non-ducted Mitsubishi electric mini splits. Mitsubishi electric mini splits are ideal for bonus rooms, garages, or sunrooms. If you need a new HVAC unit, call Comfort Master today.
Call Comfort Master. Call Comfort Master. Let's go! Woo! Woo! Yeah! Football time!
Set the tone. Kyle, tie your shoes, tie your shoes. Yeah, good job.
Woo! Yeah!
Grab a Pepsi Wild Cherry and get wild.
Unwrap a new Toyota for the holidays at Greenville Toyota. It's our holiday trade-up. Get a new Camry, $269 a month, or a new RAV4, $329 a month. Trade up and save at Greenville Toyota.
Tired of the 1-800 numbers advertising Medicare products? Flatlands Jessup has 6 offices all throughout eastern North Carolina. Get face-to-face help from our local award-winning licensed team. Stop by today. Flatlands Jessup, your whole world covered.
Download the new IBX Media app now and get the show for your ears and eyes.
Doesn't it look great on me?
This is the Patrick Johnson Show on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back to the Patrick Johnson Show. Philip Pilkington here and Dom Kasolki going to take you. Well, I'm going to take you the rest of the way. We're going to do a couple segments with Dom. We're up against a hard break here at the top of the hour, so we're going to do one segment there, and then Dom will probably be on until about 6:10, 6:15 or so. So we're going to bring in Dom Kasolki. I know it's tough, but how are you holding up there, bud?
Yeah, it was a rough night last night. Yeah, it's the Vikings. They tend to do that to you if you've been a Vikings fan. My whole life, it's just loss after bringing your hopes up, and then maybe you think, they're not going to be good this year. I expected like 4 wins out of them this year. They bring 14. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a great season. But then you go lose in the first round. It really means nothing, but at the same time, this year was a bridge quarterback year where you had a cornerback die in a car accident from a drunk driver. You have your rookie quarterback picked in the first round tear his MCL. It wasn't expected to be a good year, so this was a surprise, and it was an exciting season. We have JJ locked up for 4 years, and a lot of work to do over the offseason. So there's a lot to look forward to, but it was a tough night last night.
Yeah, I think you said you guys got something like $73 million in cap space. So
yep.
Sam Darnold most likely out. Where do you see him going, if anywhere? Do you think he's going to be kind of brought in to do the same thing he was brought in from you guys to do this year, go somewhere with a young quarterback, potentially a rookie as a mentor?
Yeah, I can't see him after these last 2 weeks. He lost himself a lot of money. Yeah, I think he had a lot of money lined up. The contracts that were predicted for him were around 4 years, $200 million, so $50 million a year, and I don't see him getting anywhere close to that now. I really have no idea what his contract situation is going to look like now, but I do see him going in to be some kind of mentor, maybe $20 million a year. I have a friend that's a Giants fan that's worried they're going to be desperate to go sign him. Who knows if he goes back to the Jets? They do a little bit of a crazy situation with him going back. The Raiders, if they don't end up drafting a quarterback, I have no idea where he's going to go now. I really thought before these last 2 weeks, it seemed like the Vikings were going to re-sign Sam Darnold to probably and overpay, but you kind of have to with the season. And I think that those 2 games might have kept the Vikings out of purgatory, even though it was a rough loss.
You know, it's interesting you bring up the Giants thing and the Raiders thing. So just looking, as far as we've been told, it sounds like Shador and Cam Ward are the first-round quarterbacks. Could somebody else move up? Sure. Could the guy from Penn State leave early or Quinn Ewers leave early? Yeah. So Tennessee sounds like they're done with Will Levis. They got the number 1 pick, so they could go quarterback. Cleveland at 2, Giants at 3. I don't think, obviously, New England's not taking one at 4. Jacksonville's probably not taking one at 5. And then you got Raiders at 6, Jets at 7. So that's 5 potential teams right there that need 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So I think the landing spot is there.
Yeah, it's whoever doesn't pick a quarterback, and if they're desperate, they need him. I just don't know about the contract situation. I don't know if he's going to be paid, way more than we're expecting or way less because of those 2, big lights. It's how you play in the big moments in the lights, and he couldn't get it done.
Well, the tough
that
thing
lost you a lot of money.
It did. I saw projections that had him losing up to $14.6 million a year. And so the one thing we know is probably not going to invest in is Cleveland, because they're paying Deshaun Watson $280 million because they guaranteed all of it. Sorry, William.
That's like the worst contract ever. Sorry.
Yeah, it is. So I think him, and speaking of former Vikings quarterbacks, Kirk Cousins could be, finding new homes. The tough thing is the Falcons would have to probably eat most of Cousins' salary because they're paying him out the rear end. But I think if they're going to run with Penix, I don't see him paying Cousins $60 million or whatever to ride the bench.
Yeah, I've seen that he's supposedly going to get cut at some point after the season, so they're going to try to save as much money as they possibly can because they made a big a mess up on their end. At least the Vikings didn't do that. They paid $10 million for a quarterback to lead them this way, and the fact that they went this far was impressive. Just a sad way to end it, and we'll see where he ends up going.
Yep, $10 million and only 1 year, so they weren't roped into a lot of time. We do have a hard break that we have to take due to it being the top of the hour. We're going to take that, and we will be back. Dom and I are going to talk coaching carousel. Where will Prime go? We're going to talk about that next here on the Patrick Johnson Show.
Acre Station Meat Farm, along with Lane Angus Beef, bring you Farm to Fork Beef.
Stock your freezers now with affordable beef boxes, just in time for the grilling season.
Farm to Fork Beef brings quality local beef to your family. From your traditional butcher shop, Acre Station Meat Farm. Come on down to Acre Station Meat Farm and find out why we're #1 in fresh cuts and friendly service.
Acre Station Meat Farm, Highway 32 North, Pinetown.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
Other restaurants claim their food is fresh and fast, but are they friendly? At Moore's, you're treated like family the minute you walk into their doors. With locations in Winterville, New Bern, Swansboro, Morehead City, and Jacksonville. We've been practicing what we preach since 1945. At Moore's, our barbecue is slow cooked and smoked over real wood daily until it's so tender it's falling off the bone. Combined with our fresh chicken, cooked-to-order seafood, and homemade fixins, we're sure you'll agree. If it's not Moore's, it's less.
This is about you, your family, and the health of all who live in Eastern North Carolina. This is about the transformation of a health system into something more powerful and more human, about creating new ways to treat disease and keep you well. This is about ECU Health, which is to say, it's really all about you. ECU Health. Minds, hearts, purpose.
Living easy is the sound of children laughing as you make memories with neighbors and friends. It's the sound of nothing at all. It's the smell of the salt air. Hear the waters against the marsh grass. See the beauty of our coast. Bow Coast, located in Beaufort, North Carolina. Southern Living's best small town.
You ready for this?
Oh, I'm very ready. Okay, ready?
You ready? Streaming to the world at 943thegame.com. This is the Patrick Johnson Show. Now in all his glory, here's the P-Man.
Patrick getting ready for his TV broadcast tonight. So Philip Pilkington and Dom Kasolke leading you in to network coverage of East Carolina and North Texas. Darren Vaught will be on the call, and when Dom steps away here to clean up the equipment and grab himself some dinner, I will talk a little more Pirate basketball. We've talked a lot of Pirate basketball on this show, as we had Justin Baer on, and we also had Cy Seymour on with the P-Man. So Dom and I talking a little NFL divisional round is set. A lot of head coaching vacancies. The new one a couple days ago, Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones being a jerk, blocking the Bears from interviewing Mike McCarthy, only to then not re-sign Mike McCarthy, and now we're talking about a potential prime time in Dallas once again. So first off, let's start talking about the jerk that Jerry Jones must be to block the Bears from interviewing a guy who technically was employed until Tuesday morning so he could rightfully do that, and then not hiring him. I mean, we all knew he was a micromanager, but I didn't think he was this much of a you-know-what hole. But it turns out he is.
I don't understand the move. Why? Why would he block him from getting another job if he knows he's just going to leave him out to dry? Which I don't blame him for not re-signing Mike McCarthy, but I don't see why he'd block him from getting any other interviews. Also, I wish he didn't block him. I want the Bears to hire him. Go. That's the best for my sake. I don't think he's the greatest coach in the world. So go ahead and let the Bears. How does that work now? Is he allowed to now get a interview with the Bears? Okay, so he'll probably still end up getting it. Jerry Jones just wanted to be big ego man and have all the power.
Yeah, if he does take a job in Chicago or anywhere else and leads them to the playoffs, he'd become the 7th coach in NFL history to take 3 teams to the playoffs. And it's interesting you bring up that he's not a great coach. I mean, he's solid. We all know that.
No, I'm not saying he's awful. But
yeah, but I'm just going to – because you watched the Packers closer than I did over the time just because they're in your division. You had this issue of winning NFC championship games. McCarthy goes somewhere else. He's had a few 12-5 seasons, but definitely continues to struggle in the playoffs. And then Rodgers had the year that he had. So who was carrying who? Was Rodgers carrying McCarthy? Was McCarthy carrying Rodgers? Was it just a healthy enough marriage to make the NFC title game and only squander one Super Bowl appearance when they were the 6th seed and nobody was picking them? What do you think was the problem in Green Bay, or was it both of them?
Well, I think there's a problem with both of them. I think Rodgers, talent-wise, carried the Packers more than Mike McCarthy's coaching, but I think Rodgers' ego got in the way of Mike McCarthy in his ways. I think Aaron Rodgers' ego is going to get in the way with almost any coach. Obviously not the biggest Aaron Rodgers fan, but bias aside, I just don't think he seems like the greatest person in the world and the greatest teammate to be around. So I don't think they meshed well, but they worked it out to where his talent was able to go win a Super Bowl, and he's a crazy talented quarterback. There's no taking that away from him.
Yeah, he is, and I'm really not trying to take anything away from Rodgers, but I do want to remind people that Eagles game in the wild card round that year, low scoring.
Mm-hmm.
Defense picks a ball off in the end zone to win. Atlanta game, divisional round, you have a punt return for a touchdown, you have a pick six, both in the first half. All you had to do was game manage. The Chicago game, Chicago ends up on a third-string quarterback by the second quarter. Ends the same way as an Eagles game, low-scoring pick in the end zone. Really, the only game he had to play great in was the Super Bowl. And, if you take away that Rashard Mendenhall fumble, we might be having a different conversation right now if they even won a Super Bowl. And, again, I'm not sitting here bagging on Rodgers. He's definitely a Hall of Fame quarterback. But just kind of throwing out some stats there. Rodgers is one of those guys, man, if the first read is there, he can hit it quick. And we've always seen him be able to improvise. He can throw Hail Marys. He can hit the guys down the field once he's got to sling it. But the one thing I think we're noticing now with the Jets, if that first or second read's not there, he's not a great throw the ball 8 to 16, 15, 16 yards down the field kind of guy. He's always been kind of get the ball in his playmakers' hands, and maybe he's a glorified game manager. I don't know. I know this sounds a little crazy, but because he can trust me, he can heave it.
About that.
But the thing was, you got to think all those plays he created with his legs. Now that he doesn't have the legs anymore, if the first or second read in there, man, it's ugly.
Yeah, no, I believe you. I'm with the same way. He's so much older now that I think that might be why he looks like that. You want to get on the mic? No. Oh, okay.
What's up, Philly
Mr.
Pilkington?
Hank Hinton
What's up,
in
Hank?
the house. Sorry, that's why I was stuttering a little bit. I think it's because of his age. I truly, I don't know. I agree with you and disagree with you. So I don't like Aaron Rodgers. So my bias is hard to make a take about him totally unbiased. But I think that's why he looks the way he did this last year. And he's coming off an ACL injury. Obviously, like you said, his legs taken out of the picture. His age also makes that a factor. I think in earlier years and when he won that Super Bowl and multiple MVPs, I don't know. I don't know if he was just a first read guy. I don't think he was a system quarterback. But I don't think McCarthy's the worst coach in the world. I don't know if he has it anymore. And that's why I was okay with him getting an interview with the Bears.
Yeah, fair enough. And then obviously there were some issues some years they lost. It was not either one of those guys' fault. You think of Seattle that they were playing. I can't remember if it was the year Seattle beat Denver, the year that Seattle ended up losing to New England, where they kick the onside kick and it hits the guy in the head and it goes flying up in the air. And it was actually funny. I was watching that game with my mom and she was like, "Oh, I don't want to see the Seahawks in the Super Bowl. I'd much rather watch Green Bay." The fans on the team, people in Seattle's a bunch of crazy people. I said, look, you're fine unless the onside kick hits a guy in the head and goes flying up in the air. And the ball hits the guy in the head. She's like, you suck. I'm like, sorry, Mom. But anyways.
Oh, man.
Oh, go ahead.
Rest in peace to those onside. Oh, well, I don't like the new kickoff rules. I hate having to tell teams that you're doing an onside, even though at the most of the point you're going to know if they're doing an onside. But don't you also have to be losing to do an onside?
Yeah, you have to be losing.
So you have to be losing and you have to tell the team and it has to be the fourth quarter. Yeah. I think that's ridiculous. Why are you taking that out of the game?
So no more Garrett Hartley onside kick. Worthy unbelievable decision by Sean Payton. So we don't have that anymore.
I miss it.
Here's my issue with the onside kick. So a few years ago, they claimed, hey, kickoffs are creating a lot of CTE, so we're going to now only allow the kicking team to have a 1 yard head start on kickoffs. And that applied to all kickoffs because obviously then you didn't have to designate onsides. So the onside success rate went from like 9 or 10 to 3 because they didn't have that 5 yard head start. Well, now that you have to designate that you're kicking onside, give them back the 5 yard head start because I think the whole CTE issue was when you were running down there to cover a kickoff at full speed. Now we've already modified it, made the kickoff look stupid. Why the heck don't we at least let the onside go back to the original rules? I mean, how often do onside kicks even get kicked? Not often, but let them be right.
It's not often either way. Yeah, let it have a chance of happening. And I know it's still sort of on topic, but there is a new rule change that's being talked about. Instead of an onside kick, they would make it a 4th and 20, and the team has an opportunity to convert a 4th and 20 to get the ball, which I don't agree with that rule. I think that ups the odds so heavily. I mean, you could chuck a deep pass and get a pass interference. It could change the game so fast. I don't think that rule should be changed. I don't know what the chances are, but I have heard talks about it coming out because, like us, we don't like this new onside rule kick. Or kick rule.
Yeah, you're going to have 1 out of every 3 converted because you have defensive holding. The second the quarterback drops
4th
back.
And 20.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
I don't know. It's dumb. Fire the rules committee. You heard it here. You didn't hear it here first because I blab about it on the IGO show all the time. Fire the rules committee of the NFL. They're all about idiots. So anyways, let's talk about this Prime thing. Speaking of Jerry Jones meddling, do you think, Dom, that Prime is cut out to be an NFL coach? And if so, where would you like to see him go? And if the answer is not Dallas, let's hit on the Dallas thing just because I'll be honest with you, I think it'd be a disaster, and I'm here for it. I don't really watch Hard Knocks, but if you gave me Hard Knocks with Jerry Jones and Dion, I'm here for the drama. It would be horrible. It would be hilarious, and I'm here to watch the Cowboys fail.
Yeah, I think it would be a disaster too. I don't think he is going to go to the Cowboys. I think if he has any chance of going to the league, it's going to be the Raiders, because the Raiders have a chance of drafting Shador, and I don't think the Cowboys have. They have a hard, path to getting Shador. It would have to take a lot. And there's an $8 million buyout. Not that Jerry Jones isn't going to pay it, but there would be an $8 million buyout for Deion Sanders to be a coach on the Cowboys or anywhere of that matter. But I don't think the Cowboys are going to be the fit. I think if it's anywhere, it's going to be the Raiders. But I don't think it should be anywhere. I'll make that clear. I don't think he's ready just yet. Or I don't know if he would be ready ever. I know he's a culture guy, but I just don't think he's up for that level of play in the NFL.
Well, the one thing I'll kind of go to, and, culture is always important, but, Coach Logan talks about this on his show, where it's like there's a lot of difference in coaching NFL and college kids. Now, college is more becoming like the NFL. It's all about how can you make me better. It's all about my career, me, whereas the college level in the past used to kind of be that whole culture thing. And like I said, not that you don't need it in the NFL, and that's the reason that it's just a different. It's not that it's harder. It's the reason some guys can coach in the NFL and can't coach in college. Same reason some guys can coach in college, can't coach in the NFL. Nick Saban, and then when college became like the NFL, he got out. So there's that. Now, the one question I have for you when it comes to the Raiders, supposedly Tom Brady is going to be more hands-on now. He's a minority owner. Would that be a good marriage, primetime and TB12?
I haven't even really given myself any time to think about Tom Brady being involved in that with Dion. That never really crossed my mind. I think Brady could work with anyone. I like Brady a lot. I'm a big Brady fan, so I wouldn't mind it. But I don't know if Brady necessarily wants that. He might want more of a cemented guy. But I mean, I don't know what's going on in Brady's head. I really have no idea, to be completely honest. If they would be a good match, I think Dion is a personality. That's all there is to it, and you're going to have to figure out a way to match his energy.
All right, you say that Brady wants a sustained guy. Brady Belichick part 2, yes or no?
No, I want him to stay on UNC. I want to see how that plays out.
Yeah, I did too. I'm here for the interestingness of the ride. I don't wish failure on anybody, but I ain't pulling for those jerks.
I mean, I'm kind of pulling for them. I think they have a lot more money. They have a big chance to shock the ACC. It could be a whole turnaround for them. They've never really been the top dog in the ACC for football, so this could be a much different season. I mean, they might turn into a football school because basketball doesn't look so great lately, other than Ian Jackson.
It doesn't. But if I listed the amount of who I'd pull for over Carolina, I could lose my job. So we'll just keep it at that. So everyone's free to use their imagination on that as to who I would pull for over Carolina. So
I'm trying to use my imagination too. Oh, have a little idea.
Teams.
We'll see.
I'll text you.
Yeah,
about the same people we'd probably pull for over the Yankees. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
So, no, man, it's weird. I tell you, it stinks. And I know here, we're supposed to keep this somewhat ECU centric, but growing up in North Carolina, both of us, look, by default, you're at least an ACC basketball fan. Even if you don't have a team you like, there's something. The ACC tournament is bigger than any of the other conference tournaments because it was the original. And it is horrible to watch the fact that the ACC is so down. I mean, wow, that's loud. What are you guys
I'm There's some kind of band playing. I don't know if they're practicing out in the hallway or what's going on, but I'm trying to listen to you talk and the band play at the same time. Everything's going on at once, a little overstimulated.
Yeah. So, I mean, Duke's good. Pitt is, solid. Clemson's not as good as I thought they would be, but I mean, is it not sad as a true-bred North Carolinian to watch the SEC? I don't know if you heard my update. Here are the SEC games tonight, just at 7 o'clock. Auburn against Mississippi State. Auburn is 1. They have 1 loss to Duke. Mississippi State is 15. They have 2 losses. A battle of 2 lost teams doing a battle in Tuscaloosa. 21 Ole Miss at 4 Alabama. And then a battle of 3 lost teams in Lexington, 11 Texas A&M, 8 Kentucky. I mean, that's what the ACC, especially when they brought in I know the old heads don't like the expanded ACC. I don't love it either. But when you brought in Notre Dame and Syracuse, Notre Dame, Carolina, Notre Dame, Duke, and same thing with Syracuse, Carolina, Syracuse, Duke, are supposed to be like marquee matchups every year. Those teams aren't good. Virginia's not good. Carolina's dog water. I mean, this is terrible. It's
dog
like,
water.
Come on. This is supposed to, comparatively to what Carolina should be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't know. It's just frustrating. It's like the ACC is supposed to be the perennial basketball conference, and they're sitting at like 4 or 5 right now because the Big 12's better, the SEC's better, the Big East is better, probably the Big 10's better. I mean, it just stinks.
I think Duke is the only team that in the ACC that I can see making a run in the tournament this year. Although we saw last year, nobody expected State to make it that far, and ACC had 5 teams in the tournament last year. It was a decent year for the for how far they
get
made
like
it.
8
It was
teams in there.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I don't know. It was lower than normal, but it wasn't a total fall off. But this year it feels like it's been declining, and now it's starting to be way too low for anybody's liking, especially us living in North Carolina, growing up in North Carolina. It's just I don't watch it like I used to. It's not as entertaining as it used to be.
It's not. I mean, they're going to be a 3-bid league this year, probably.
Yep, I can see it.
Maybe 4. Alrighty, Dom. Well, I'm going to talk a little Pirate basketball on the other side, but I'm going to let you go get some food and get the equipment cleaned up and enjoy the game tonight, man. Have fun, and hopefully it doesn't end as controversially as it does last year.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope we can come out with a win. Maybe we play like we did against Temple, a lot of hustle, go out and play some good defense and win the game.
Alrighty, appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Thank you.
That was the voice of your favorite Vikings fan, Dom Kasulki. We're going to take our final time out here on the Patrick Johnson Show. We'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers does real burgers better than anybody. And don't forget about the cheese sticks, fresh salads, and more. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, burgers and sports at its best.
Go Pirates! Arg!
Looking for a great deal on a new Nissan?
At Greenville Nissan, we've got a great selection of new Nissans for under $30,000.
The stylish Nissan Sentra, offering top-notch fuel economy. The Nissan Altima, known for its comfort and technology.
The Nissan Kicks, the perfect combination with its compact design and performance. The Nissan Versa, delivering incredible value without compromising on features. And don't forget the Nissan Rogue, an award winner for 10 years in a row. Drive it home just for $22 down and $349 a month.
Visit GreenvilleNissan.com today.
Greenville Nissan, where we drive to serve.
You know what the problem is with standard belts? Usually you have to choose between too tight or the opposite, too loose. But with Anson Belt & Buckle, you don't have to choose. We got rid of the holes and instead have a track system designed for micro-adjustability. That way you can enjoy a perfect fit every time. Anson Belt & Buckle. Find your perfect fit today.
Hi, I'm D.R. Alligood.
And I'm his daughter, Jessica.
For 11 years, we have built quality driveways and parking lots for both your residential and commercial needs. We also offer free on-site quotes to have your custom driveways built the way you want.
252-946-1227. Storm season is approaching. North Carolina weather can damage your roof, and before long, a small leak can turn into a big problem. Your home is one of your biggest investments, so protect it with Wells Home Improvements.
We work with all insurance companies for a hassle-free roof installation experience. Call us today and get 10% off your roof installation when you mention this commercial.
252-227-8403 or visit us online at wellshomeimprovements.com. Wells Home Improvements. Local, honest, dependable.
Your confidence makes everything look good. You see the world in vivid color, not black and white. Swing through your neighborhood Fantastic Sam's Cut in color. and let our experienced stylists take you from everyday to extraordinary.
Fantastic Sam's hair salons are locally owned and operated. Our full-service salons are conveniently located in Goldsboro, Kinston, Greenville, New Bern, Jacksonville, and Calabash. Stop in today at Fantastic Sam's, where the possibilities are endless.
And now, the stunning conclusion of the show. It's the P-Man here on 94.3 The Game.
Welcome back into the Patrick Johnson Show. We are leading you into network coverage of East Carolina and North Texas here at the bottom of the hour. I'm Philip Pilkington taking you home as the P-Man is getting ready for the ESPN Plus broadcast of that contest. Remember, the radio broadcast will be heard right here on 94.3 The Game, or if you get a little outside the listening area, our sister station 107.9 is a 100,000-watt station, so a little bit of stronger signal. If you get out of their listening area, tune in on the IBX Media app, free for download on Google Play and the App Store. So let's talk a little bit about this game. North Texas, one of the better teams in the conference, one of the more experienced teams in the conference. Their rotation, 2 juniors, everybody else seniors. Now, a lot of these guys are transfers, haven't played together before, but here we are on January 14th, and they're really learning to play together. Their coach got poached last year. They just promoted within. They're playing the same style of basketball they played last year in Minges. They're slow. They're 5th slowest in the country, 360th in tempo. Decently efficient offensively, 101 in offensive efficiency, 110 points per 100 possessions. Very good in defensive efficiency, 44th in the country, according to KenPom. Slow, unfortunately, is not the Pirates' game. And in basketball, regardless of which team is better, the fast team or the slow team, it is easier, historically, for slow teams to slow down fast teams than it is fast teams to speed up slow teams. So that's a little bit of a worry tonight. Now, on the flip side, East Carolina is not the fast basketball team that dribbles the ball up the court, swings it around the perimeter, dribbles into a double team, kicks it out, does 2 more touch passes, and hits a 3. That is tough to do against slow-paced teams because they play a slow-paced defense and they don't get themselves in those situations. East Carolina is the kind of team we've seen over the last few weeks where their new fast-paced idea is get the rebound and get in transition. That is the one way that slow teams can historically speed up fast teams. Now, when you get in transition, it can be easy to throw up bad shots. This team has done a good job of not throwing up bad shots, which is good. The tough thing is you will have a limited number of possessions. It's a lot like playing Army or Navy. In basketball terms, it's a lot like playing a Tony Bennett coached Virginia team from 6 years ago when they won the national championship. So, this team does have to take advantage of each possession, get quality looks. The great thing is, I think this is one of those games, we say, well, East Carolina played well. They just didn't hit enough threes. This might be the one game they can kind of get away with that as long as they're efficient at the free throw line, with the exception of the FAU game. They have been. Don't get in foul trouble, which they've done a pretty good job at. Now, North Texas, pretty efficient at the charity stripe as well, so don't give them freebies up there. But when you play a slow team, they will work the ball inside. They will draw fouls. But the nice thing is you'll have time to catch your breath. If you do get in a little foul trouble, you go to a zone. It's okay because you're playing a slow team. If you have to shorten up the bench, it's okay. You're not going to be as gassed. You're playing a slow team. So there's a lot of opportunities here tonight, and it's the reason I think the Pirates were in such a dogfight a year ago when they lost 60-59 on what, let's just call it what it is, was a horrendous missed call when the young man from North Texas pushed off and got the easy layup. So, hey, avoid the push-off tonight. Hopefully you're not playing 8-on-5. Should be good. this is a very winnable game. And this is not because North Texas is bad or anything like that. I think they're the second best team in the conference, but it's a very winnable game because East Carolina's played with discipline. The turnovers were a little bit of an issue on Saturday, and Coach Schwartz addressed it in his post-game interview. But overall, we've been pretty good taking care of the basketball. I think you got to do that. Don't waste possessions. Don't give up offensive rebounds. Get some offensive rebounds and give yourself second opportunities. When you play against a slow-paced team, those almost count double because there's less possessions. So when you turn, 40 possessions into 52 possessions, that's a lot more impressive than turning 72 into 84 because it's a higher percentage. There's an opportunity tonight for this team, a team that went to the FedEx Forum, had their, let's just call it what it is, expected scoring drought there midway through the first half, and still hung with the top 20 team in the country, still hung with the best team in this conference. And now you got the second best team in the conference, a team that also went to the FedEx Forum the previous weekend on Sunday afternoon and lost by just 4. Big opportunity tonight for the Pirates to turn this thing around. Think it's doable. Play discipline, play smart, get it done. We'll be all right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks to the P-Man. Thanks to Dom Kasolki. Thanks to Hank Hinton for stopping by and saying a quick hello. Thanks to Justin Bear and Cy Seymour. Have a great rest of your evening, Pirate Nation. Stay tuned. Pirate basketball, bottom of the hour. Darren Vaught on the call. Pirates.